So, ma'am, thank you so much for speaking to us. Can you tell us a little bit about IWAT?
So IWAT stands for International Association of Women in Radio and Television, and as the name denotes, these are women from radio, practitioners who are in television and who are also filmmakers. We are about 500 members worldwide. It's an international organization with links to the UN, and we have a very robust India chapter with over 100 members, or almost 100 members, which is like if 500 membership in international, then 100 is 1/5. So, and every year during International Women's Year, we hold the Asian Women's Film Festival. And this year we held in March our 20th edition. So it was really a wonderful historic moment because it is a struggle to bring films of independent women filmmakers from this region together and have them filmed, have them screened in one venue. We have to every year struggle for funding, make sure all our members do this work voluntarily. Nobody's paid for it. They're also very busy filmmakers, TV people themselves, but they give this time for this organization. And we've been able to create this brand. And as a part of that, we had plans to take traveling festival. We have about 50 films that show. We want to take about 14, 15 to different cities. And we had planned this trip to Kohima a long time ago, but then COVID hit, and so now we've been able to do it with the help of FAN, and it's a lovely acronym, isn't it? And with the help of FAN and IWAT and TEFMA and Department of Information here and many other organizations which have come forward to help.
Okay, then we would also like to know if there is any specific criteria, or is there a charge for people who wants to be a part, for women who wants to be a part of IWAT? If they want to.
Yeah, we have you have to qualify only by being interested in film, television or radio, either a practitioner or an academic in that field, that's also fine. You have to be interested in this particular area of work. So yeah, that's the only criteria. We have a membership fee, a very small yearly annual membership fee. So that's about it. Yeah, and there's a form to be filled, and there are nominations to be made. That's it.
Mary said something earlier about Marilyn said post-op stories. What would you like to explain that to us?
Well, before I came here, I had 50 messages from different people, including my sister, who's written a book on Indians in the First World War. She's written a book on a Second World War heroine, and she said, don't forget to go and see the war memorial. And that beautiful saying that is there on it, and she always repeats that particular saying. Maybe I'll read it sometime for you just now. So, and of course Nagaland, there are so many stories here. There are people's struggles, there are women's struggles. Every region in this country, we have stories to tell, isn't it? And the more vibrant media we have, which is not bringing fake news, but which is bringing real news because it's going to the field. You know what has happened to mainstream media now and how everything is manufactured news. And it's sad to pass that off as news. Also independent filmmaking, if many of you can do long form documentaries, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, half an hour, which is then goes to festivals. So everybody in another, sitting in Trivandrum, people get to see what's happening in Nagaland, right? We are a huge country and sometimes we don't know anything about each other. And we need to correct that, and you need to tell your story to the world. So I am from Delhi, but I went to the south and I stayed there in South India because I said I have no problems being far away from Delhi and the studios because South is so underreported. So there are so many regions in our country, including the Northeast, which is so underreported. If it rains in Delhi, it comes in the channels. But all sorts of things will happen in South and in Northeast and other regions. which will not find place. So we need vibrant, good reporters who come into, now you say which channel, all the channels have become biased. That is a challenge. But you start your own here. I would say have your own independent ones from there, so that at least even the people here get to know the correct news. Of this film which I made with 5 other women directors. One of them, Deepika, is here with me. She made the India film, and there are others from Philippines and Canada and just Afghanistan. Lots of people who came from other places, 5 of them. And we made this film called Velvet Revolution. It's about how women journalists have been increasingly under attack. And I really invite you to see that film tomorrow because it's about the media. And earlier women journalists, both state and non-state people who don't like because we are doing truth-telling, they would at least spare us from being killed. But now they don't stop even at killing. The world over, the media rights groups are seeing a rise in the number of women journalists that are being even killed in a drastic step because they are telling stories that those in power or others, who are non-state players don't like. So Velvet Revolution is about that. I invite you, and please tell your media friends to come and watch it. There's a lot of messaging that will emerge in the conversation that we have after that. And how it's so important. It's not to put off women to come into journalism, it's to attract more women into journalism and to say, come here, let's continue the truth-telling on media, on our people. We are only responsible for our people, for no one else, We are not indebted to any government, to anyone other than our own people and to tell their stories. That's what a journalist's job is, to bridge the gap between policymakers and the people who do not have a voice. So if you take that as a message, that's what I think journalism should be about.
Okay, ma'am, one last question. We do have a lot of male directors or maybe filmmakers, but comparatively women are low in number and there are just a handful of them. So in just a word or two, what advice would you like to give to them and what tip would you give to them?
I'm wondering why. Look at, I've been meeting the most stunning women here from last night, and it's just a matter of time. And that ratio is there from Hollywood to even deep down south, or even in Bollywood. We know that numbers of women are always less than men. It is, filmmaking has been, continues to be a male-dominated profession, but things are changing. A lot of women directors are coming forward, their work is being appreciated, and they're coming in large numbers as editors, as cinematographers, all over. I mean, earlier they would just say, okay, editing, because ek jagah mein baithe raho aur kaam karte raho. That's a nice little role for, I'm not trying to denounce editing. It's one of the most fascinating things in filmmaking, how you put the film together. You can shoot as much as you want, but at the end of it, it has to be put in a 50-minute or a 60-minute version or a 2-minute version, whatever. So editing is extremely important. But what I'm saying is that women could do all the jobs, and they've done it. They've done it in television. In our newsroom in NDTV, we were more women. I mean, ratio was completely different. There were more women than men, So we breached it. If we can breach it in some places and some institutions, why not everywhere? It'll happen. All of you will soon be, I'll be on the other side and interviewing you for a film you've made. That's the way forward. Just believe in yourself.